If you just started at badminton, or if you just want to improve your basics, you're really up for a treat. This game has so much to offer, but it's also a difficult game because you need to master the grip, the footwork, the timing, the technique, and so many other things. We've created hundreds of videos at Basic Feather, some more advanced than others. If somebody asked me how to improve their badminton game, these are the 5 videos that I would definitely recommend them to watch. And I promise you, if you're able to improve on some of these areas, you've already come a long way. The right grip in badminton is of course crucial, so that's what the first video is going to be about. If you've watched our videos before, that I sometimes say forehand grip, backhand grip, bevel grip, or even pan grip. So in this video, we'll give you a complete guide on how to hold the racket and what shots you generally would play with these grips. So the first grip I want to talk about is the forehand grip. So how I usually would do it is to have the racket in front of me and then basically greet the racket with a hello. What I want you to remember here is, if you can see, I almost got like this V in my hand, that I want to follow like the left side of the shaft. So that means if I'm holding it like this, then it's correct. If, let's say, my V, the bottom of the V is on the right side on the shaft, then I am slightly too much towards another grip, which is called the pan grip. So I want you to have the bottom of the V on the left side of the shaft if you are a right-hander. If you are a left-hander, then it's the opposite. I want the bottom of the V on my right side. So moving to the court here, we just went through the grip of the forehand grip and how I would use it. For example, on the forehand lift is really like keep your grip relaxed so you're not tense and having it close to your palm. So for example, comes and I have to play the forehand lift, I open up, and as you can see here, I get some space between the grip and my palm, because the power is then generated by closing that space that I have to play that forehand lift with my forehand grip. This is one of the essential things that you can do with your forehand grip. So another one is also the clear. I'm still using my forehand grip, and basically again, when I want to play it, I have it here, I open up, so again the grip is at my fingers, it's not close to my palm. You can see I got this space, my racket is then pointing backwards, and to generate the power, I basically close that gap that I just made by opening up the grip, closing the grip. This is basically together with like using my forehand to rotate. That's basically what you should do to generate the power in your clear. So moving on to the next grip, that's the backhand grip. So basically we had the forehand before, then I basically turn my racket to the right, and then you can see like the big flat surface. That's where I place my thumb, and then I use my thumb to generate the power. That's the backhand grip as we have here. So the shot to use with your backhand grip, we are showing the backhand kill. So when you get the shuttle, you're moving straight to the shuttle here, and then basically you relax your grip just as before with the forehand, and then you use your thumb, open up here, and then you close it with your thumb, push to get that power, and meeting that shuttle here. So badminton is a funny game because nothing is wrong, nothing is right. Some would use the backhand grip for a lot of shots, maybe even the backhand clear, but for me, I want to use the bevel grip, and that's the next grip that we will move to. Alright, so let's talk about the bevel grip. Let me show it to you once again. So we had the backhand grip, which is on the big surface. Just next to it, there's like a small surface on the right side of the big one, and that's the bevel grip. So I have it here. So it's really important that you choose the kind of edge that is the one below and not the one at top, because up here it's really difficult to generate power, but you pick the small surface at the bottom when you have them here. So for the bevel grip, now we know how to hold it, right? What shots to do. I use the bevel grip to for example, play my backhand clear. So I get the racket up here, my elbow up, and from here, it's basically my forearm and my thumb generating the power. The power is generated by pushing my thumb, closing, as you can see how open my grip is here. I close it to get the power. I see so many players trying to hold super tense, and then it's not gonna work for you. You need to have your racket out at your fingertips to generate that power. So another shot that you can use the bevel grip for is a backhand drive. Maybe in doubles when you get the shuttle here. It's basically the same technique as I just went through. Having your grip at your fingertips, using your forearm and your thumb to really push and generate the power. So the power is generated almost by this finger. Let you push the grip, and really important, again, have space here to generate the power. So the last grip I'm gonna take you through is the pan grip. So the pan grip is inspired from the kitchen, basically, how you would hold a pan and almost like how you fry food, right? It's pretty simple how you would hold a pan. So it's like this. So one situation where I would use the pan grip is actually at the net, maybe in doubles, where we have a lot of flat exchanges. And then I want to have the pan grip, again, super relaxed. Whatever I do today is super relaxed, so I can generate the power here. But I want to use the pan grip because I can really like have short swings, while on the forehand, if I use that grip, I need to open, close it, open, close it. You can see it takes a little bit of extra time instead of just pushing it like this. This is one situation where I prefer to use the pan grip. So another situation where I would use the pan grip is actually my late backhand, where I want to play it short, because I've just like, I don't know how exactly, to be honest, but I just learned that this was the easiest way for me to use the pan grip in this situation, because I get like a perfect ankle with the racket and the strings towards the net. So I'm always able to play a super high quality shot using the pan handle grip. So if you've made it to this point in the video, I really hope that you've learned the essential grips in badminton and where to use them. The forehand, the backhand, the bevel and the pan grip. Moving around the court in badminton is really important. So we're gonna cover the basics of badminton footwork in the second video. So overall in badminton we have 4 corners. Number 1, forehand at the net. Number 2, backhand at the net. Number 3, forehand on the rear court. And number 4, backhand at the rear court. We're gonna take you through each of them. So before we begin, I'd like to talk about 3 important things. What is a lunge? A lunge is where you, lunge on your right leg. If I'm a right-hander, if I'm a left-hander, then it's a lunge on my left leg. A lunge is the last step when I hit my shuttle. So example, if I move to my forehand corner at the net, this is my lunge. A key element when lunging on court is your foot needs to point at the corner that you're lunging towards. So again, if I'm lunging towards my backhand corner at the net, then my foot is pointing towards that direction in my lunge. Not this or that, that's gonna put a lot of pressure on my knees. I'm lunging toward the direction that the shuttle is at. So that's super important in my lunge. So what is a split jump, or some might call it a split step as well. It's like this small jump or step that you do to prepare how to move towards the next shot that's coming. So it is like I've played one shot, perhaps over here, and then this is the split jump. So this is the timing that I'm doing this jump so I can move towards the next shot depending on where it's played. So the last thing that I want you to know is a scissor jump. It's basically when I move towards the rear court, I have my left side towards the net, and once I hit the shot, I do like this full rotation and land with my right foot towards the net. So it's starting on the left side and landing on the right side if I'm a right-hander. And as you see here, I'm getting back into the corner. So that is a scissor jump. First up, we're gonna talk about the forehand side at the net. So step number 1 is the split jump. Always start with the split jump. That's how we prepare. So split jump, and then using our left leg, we're gonna cross behind our right foot. So here, split jump, cross behind, and then actually we're gonna take a long lunge towards the forehand corner at the net. So it looks like this: split jump, cross behind, and lunge. Next up, we're gonna talk about the backhand at the net. So moving towards the backhand corner at the net is again starting with split jump, using my left one to do like a small step. So split jump left, and then I do my lunge. So step one is a split jump, then I have a movement with my left leg, and then the last, a lunge. So if I do it a bit quicker, 1, 2, and number 3. Number 3, we're gonna talk about the forehand on the rear court. So the first step that we're gonna do is the split jump. Then we're gonna make a smaller jump towards the corner. So number 1, number 2 is the smaller step, and then we're actually gonna do the scissor jump where we jump a bit backwards, but again land on our left foot first, as I'm a right-hander. Step 1 is the split jump, then we have the small jump, and then the scissor jump. That's basically how we want to move towards the rear court. This isn't the only footwork in how to move towards the forehand. If you want to watch more variation, we have done a forehand corner footwork video that I've linked in the description. And lastly, we're going to talk about the backhand side on the rear court. So how to move to the rear court at the backhand corner, it's also what we call the around the head corner, because I play the shot around the head, funny enough. So let me take you through how to do it. It's the split jump as we see here. And then we have a smaller jump using one leg, and while doing that we actually also rotate in our body. And the last one after that is the scissor jump. Again, we're gonna jump a bit towards the corner, so we're gonna jump a bit backwards, but again we wanna make sure we land on our left leg first if I'm a right-hander, because then I can push towards the corner easily. So let me show you the full movement. Split jump, one leg with rotation, and then the scissor jump. So that is the basic steps in moving towards the around head corner, or the backhand corner as we also call it. The fundamental thing in badminton, and if you just started, I think this is super important in how to improve your badminton game. So we have taken you through the forehand net, hand backhand, rear court forehand, and the rear court backhand side. Practice it. It is not easy, it's super difficult, but just keep doing it and I'm sure you will learn it. The third video is about how to play the clear in badminton, so let's jump right into that one. Your body rotation, your forearm, your shoulder, your grip, there are so many things that need to work together. And that's why in this video we're going to give you some simple tips to master the clear. And the good thing is that the tips in this video also applies when you want to do the drop or the clear or any other overhead shot. I see a lot of players playing the clear like this. As you can see, there's no body rotation, the grip is wrong, and also I'm not hitting the clear at my maximum height. Here's an extremely simple exercise that you might not have heard. If you forget the racket just for a second, I want you to try this simple small exercise. Think of the movement on the clear as you want to throw this shuttle as long as you can. You wouldn't throw the shuttle without a rotation in your body, right? The clear is exactly the same as throwing a shuttle, a ball, or whatever you want to throw. The movement is exactly the same. So think of the clear as a similar movement as when you're taking a shuttle and want to throw it as long as you can. Now let's talk about some actual tips for the clear. The grip that you should use is the forehand grip, not the pan grip so many players do. Once you have your forehand grip, the next thing is to keep it relaxed. Your racket shouldn't be too close to your palm, but instead it should rest in your fingers. Step 2, the preparation. As I'm a right-hander, I want to start with my left side towards the net. I'm using my forehand grip and want to get my shoulders into a position where I'm relaxed. Then push your elbow backwards and keep your racket in an upwards position. This position is your base for any overhead shots, whether it's the clear, it's the drop, your smash. Step 3, rotation. Once the shuttle approaches, you pull your racket backwards and your elbow upwards. It's almost at the point where your racket is pointing towards the floor. This movement here is only possible because I keep relaxing my grip. The last part here is then rotating your forearm towards the shuttle. This is where your power in your clear is generated. It's by being relaxed all the way through, and at the very end you do a quick rotation in your forearm. If you struggle with your forehand grip and the last part of the rotation in your forearm, I have a simple exercise that you can do. Find a wall and stand with the front to the wall. From here, you push your elbow upwards and then you practice your rotation. So starting with your racket pointing backwards, and then you do your rotation so you get that racket to hit the wall with the strings. In this exercise, we're only focusing on your forearm rotation and your grip, not the body rotation. Okay, now let's talk about the body rotation. Your body rotation should follow the movement in your arm. As mentioned before, because I'm a right-hander, we start left side towards the net. So at the time your racket is pointing backwards towards the floor, that's where the body rotation starts. When you're hitting the shuttle, you should almost have a straight front towards the net. And once the shuttle is hit, you follow through with your body rotation, and that means my right side would be pointing towards the net. And as you can see, I'm ready to move into the court. And this movement is also often referred to as the scissor jump. These were the tips in getting a perfect clear. If you can't serve in badminton, you're gonna have a hard time in winning badminton matches. So the fourth video is about how to play the backhand serve.
The most important in this serve is obviously your grip, and it's what we call a backhand grip with the thumb on the side here and playing the shot with the backhand grip. You're holding the shuttle with your thumb and your index finger, and it's holding so you've got the base towards yourself, and of course playing the shot like this. The position of your racket when you are serving the low serve, the backhand serve, you can actually do anything you like. There are no rules to how to do it these days. The only rule that actually exists is the fact that you have to strike the shuttle below 115 centimeters, 1 meter and 15 centimeters. However, we will recommend that you have your racket in such an angle like this, where the racket head is slightly below the handle, but as we've said earlier, anything is possible, anything is actually allowed, and you will see that international players, they will go higher and higher and higher, and of course trying to push the limits as much as possible. The actual racket action is obviously as short as you can make it, the better, because that means that it will be more steady and it will be the same action every single time you're serving. So a fairly short action, and you take your racket back a little bit and serve. In terms of your racket action, when it comes to your flick serve, there are, in our book anyway, two options to do it. Obviously, you can take your racket a little bit further back. That will give you a little bit more action to play with. Or the second thing is obviously that you can tighten your grip and you can use your fingers in order to make that flick serve very, very short. When you're serving your low serve, it's important that it's the same action every single time. If you add on to that, it's also variation. It's either you're serving into the tee, you can serve it wide, you have the flick serve in the two deep corners as well. So options are many, but it have to be sort of the same action. And another thing that could be quite important is what kind of position is your opponent having as and when he or she is receiving, and what kind of grip is the opponent having, because that is also showing limitations perhaps to what sort of return of service coming back.
And the last video that I've got for you is about the smash. Everyone loves to play the smash. It feels great and it looks even nicer. So I'm gonna teach you how to play it. So the smash in badminton, it's very often used, it's seen as a powerful weapon and are able to play winners. So it's all great, but having the right technique is the key to play a powerful smash and not being strong. It's not that you pump a lot of iron that's going to provide you the great smash. It's having the right technique. So I want you to watch this video because I'm going to give you a breakdown of every step in how to master the perfect smash. So the first step is focusing on the wrist work. So I just want to quickly take you through the technique when I say wrist work. So basically it's just relaxing here with my grip, opening up and then closing it with my wrist and my fingers. So that's basically what I mean by step one. So this is the wrist work. So now you've maybe learned how to use your wrist. So now we're going to put some preparation to it. Still, we are standing still. I'm getting handed some feeding. So it's preparation and turning and then closing with the wrist. So the preparation is approximately here where we have 90 degrees. Some prefer it a bit lower, some prefer it a bit higher. It's all okay. But having the preparation here, turning your body and then taking your racket back, and from here it's basically just the wrist work that we practiced. So we have it here, 1, 2, and then 3. So that's the steps, 1, 2, and 3. That's basically the steps. So the focus on the step 2 is creating this kind of tension in your body, staying super relaxed, and at the end use your stomach and your ab muscles to really pull and do a rotation so you get power. So the third step in mastering the perfect smash is trying to implement the full rotation in your body. So step 3, I'm a right-hander, so that means I want to have my left body towards the net. If I'm a left-hander, it's the opposite, so I have my right side towards the net. Staying here, the same preparation as we just did in step 2, doing the exact same, and when I hit the shuttle, that's where I rotate with my body, and then you can see my right foot is landing towards the net, so that I can move towards the net. So the last step, the fourth step, is the jump smash. I'm still having the side towards the net when I start. Then I'm basically going a bit down, jumping up, using my arms to get as high up as possible. Then I have the same preparation as I've had in the previous steps. Then I hit the shuttle, that's where I rotate in the air, and then I land with left, right, so that I can move towards the net again. So I'm jumping up, having the rotation, preparing, and smashing plus landing. I've also done a previous video about the jump smash. That's linked in the description below. So we've been through the step-by-step technique in how to evolve your badminton smash, going from just the wrist technique to the full body to the jump. So just go on court, practice, and remember, it's all about being able to relax, and at the end, that's where you use your power. Stay relaxed as much as possible. I'm sure you'll get a perfect smash. I hope you got some nice tips from the videos that I've got for you. And remember, badminton is fun and the court is a canvas for your journey.